Alright, this is the epic reading section of the Shadowgate LP. Because I know a lot of you really don't want to have me sit and read everything to you, and yet reading these things is a core part of the game. A lot of them actually tell you what you need to do, and some is just plain world building, and I kind of like them. So I'm just going to simply have a separate episode for reading them. So if you really absolutely don't care, you can simply skip this video and go to the next one. So I'm going to start with the very first item we found, which is the journal, and onward. Journal. I am amazed at what I think we found! Buried in the ground and unearthed after all this time! He said we should sell it to the sorcerer! Said we'd be rich! I have a bad feeling about this. Final battle. The victory is won, but the war is not over. Our greatest foe has been vanquished, but his minions still survive, ready to finish their evil master's plans. Brave young Jar, destined to confront the evil one, has triumphed, but at what cost? Exhausted after his final confrontation against the Warlock Lord's most powerful creature, the Behemoth. Or Behemoth, but I'm North American, fuck you. Young Jar must take the mantle of hero and lead this ragtag group of defenders against the deadliest of the Warlock Lord's remaining army. With the help of the wizard Lakmir, young Jar awaits the final battle with the Staff of Ages at his side. Yeah, you remember that thing from the NES game? This is documenting that. The land of Kal Torlon mourns and cries out against the bloodshed that it has seen. Soon, it shall see victory, and the land shall once again know peace. And a dramatic representation of that event. Of riding dragons. And who is wiser, the man or the dragon? Men fear, dragons do not. As wise as the serpent, dragons discern if the rider is afraid. I tell you this, no coward has ever ridden one. Dragons respect only the brave. It is unwise to mock a great dragon and to use them in an unworthy way as fooly. Truly, there is no beast alive that is more gracious with men. So they can be controlled, you say? Nay, I say never. Their ways are higher than our ways. Their thoughts are deeper than our thoughts. There are few things in this life to have more faith in than the dragon. Blank book. Blank book is blank. Just flip through it and then we'll move on. Though, spoilers, there is an item you can get that will cause a couple of the blank books to actually spring words. I'll be reading those in a future dramatic reading. Come on. Come on, thank you. Okay, Laws of Magic. This book shall attempt to explain some of the simple principles behind the laws of magic. The first and most important precept is that although there are many types of magic, all laws apply universally. In this book we shall look at magic of the 3 of the 4 orders. This book shall discuss the practice, strengths, and differences of chaos, order, and life. Death shall be omitted from this discussion because of the recent forbidding of its usage. A warning needs to be inserted that the magic of death irreversibly taints the soul. Having said that, let's look at the magic in general. There are many ways to conjure magic. Each of the orders have a definitive way to enact its magic, but remember that though different, each have similar results. Order uses the precise enunciation of the written word, Order uses the precise enunciation of the written word learned from spellbooks. Life employs expansive gestures held down by word of mouth from the master to pupil. Chaos uses a combination of violent gestures and guttural rules culled from all the orders. Death uses rituals and force of mind. This is only mentioned to demonstrate the differences in conjuring. No more shall be said on death. The following section looks at some of the more common areas of magic amongst the orders. The creation of magical artifacts holds many common attributes. Typically, an artifact is bestowed its magical properties so that all can use. This sometimes proves problematic because many novices can too easily manipulate too powerful a magic item. So the function of personalizing an artifact came into being. This sometimes includes a keyword or phrase to activate the device, but increasingly the orders would include a secret mechanism into each of their magics. For example, the legendary Staff of Ages, a product of Order, was personalized for only Lord Jar's use. Because he's the one that assembled it. Another device that allows the manipulation of Order artifacts is the use of a key ring, like the Ring of the Kingdom that many attempt to win through the trials. The Order of Life typically employs the use of pure-hearted individuals as a means to unlock its power, or other devices like sunlight. However, it's enacted. A magical artifact must never be misused, or the user will suffer dire consequences. Memorandum. It happened moments before the Keeper disappeared. The official stared wide-eyed at the marvelous crystal. "What is it?" he mouthed. The Dragon Keeper simply recited. "The man's eye sees a tiny fire, the dragon's eye consuming fire. The man's eye, no one to blame, the dragon's eye creates the pyre." The official thought about these words. Could the eye turn even the faintest of lights into a reflected blaze? Surely the eye of the dragon must be extremely dangerous. It was, after all, stored deep within the depository. Unfortunately, the riddle did not answer his question. What exactly is the eye of the dragon? The speeches of Lord Jar. So the PC from the first game said unto his people, "People of Kaltoron, the evil which has threatened our lands is sailed away forever. We are indeed safe. However, I ask you to look around. The ravages of war are all about you. All the evil that has been done needs to be set right. Look at the land. The trees and the plants have all withered. The ground is scorched beneath our feet. For us who have survived, a new battle now begins to secure our future. We have to restore our beloved country. We need to rebuild from the ashes. Since magic has caused much of the blight in the land, it is only right that magic be part of its cleansing. Therefore, I ask that Lakmir open Shadowgate to those that will learn his ways. With guidance, these sorcerers will be called on to rebuild and defend Kaltoron." Editor's note. Lakmir the Timeless agreed and dedicated the 4 towers of Shadowgate to the cause. One for the use of training young sorcerers, one as his personal quarters, and one as a testing place for those sorcerers who would serve the royal family. Dramatic recreation. And lastly, the Book of Orders. The One created the heaven and the earth, giving birth to the 4 orders which govern in his stead. They are chaos, life, order, and death. All hang in the balance and none hold sway over any other. For if one of the orders holds sway, the world ends and begins anew. The Quothra, or fairies, were first born. heedless, carefree, and possessing no worries. They were weak-minded and sought only their own pleasures. The four orders easily manipulated them, threatening the balance. The One was greatly displeased. The One decreed that the four could make war through the Kothra, and thus the world ended. And from the ashes evolved the Johara, more commonly known as elves. The Johara became the chosen people, and the One was pleased. Seasons passed upon the new paradise, and the Johara joyfully ministered to the One. Then the great turning began. The collective mind of the Johara was subverted by the Order of Chaos, who sought to gain power over his brethren. The One saw his people corrupted. With much displeasure, he magnified the power of chaos over the Johara, and the world ended once more. In the madness that followed, that Johara that survived sought protection in all manner of place. The madness subsided and chaos rejoined his brothers. The Johara emerged from hiding, and they were changed. Those who hid in the plains became man. Those from caves became dwarves. Those from the north became barbarians. Those from swamps became fiendlings. Thus the races were formed, and the One was pleased. Student's Diary. Month of Aries. Southwest Day. It was merely a matter of time before the watchman discovered our folly. Our nighttime pleasure jaunts were no doubt ill-advised. I always suspected he knew of our excursions, but a man can only turn a deaf ear for so long. It's a blind eye. Whatever. Will they confiscate the key and tell good Master Lackmere? Month of Aries, West Day. The good master was gracious. A week of shameful labor could be worse, much worse. I have heard that future transgressors will be made to wear the blue ring. It is said that the ring will drive a man insane. Month of Aries, Northwest Day. It happened on this day that I beheld a darker side of Lackmere. He appeared from nowhere and yelled at me as I was to clean the fireplace. I quickly forgot my chores as I slinked away. That night I started to think, isn't it strange that a tower with no chimney should have a fireplace? I realized that such thoughts were dangerous, but I could not help but think them over as the moon rose over the third tower. And I dreamt of a grinning skull wearing a ring of blue that cried out for its brothers of red and green, and in it I saw the answers, and a voice told me that once you're through with this world, there's another waiting there. I think the student might have had the blue ring slipped on him. What y'all think? Personal note. Dear Mother, I wish to thank you for sending me here. I think you would be proud of me. The other alkalites are quickly becoming my friends, a real brotherhood. I hate to ask you of this, but please send me more money. I have lost mine. Love, Cyril. Request denied. The House of Drizzlin. After the death of the great King Arod, the succession did not proceed well. With failing health and without an heir, the great king had the presence of mind to appoint a successor, Lord Jar of the Westland. Us. This turned into a favorable decision by commoner and nobleman alike. Jar's leadership and courage, tempered with his upbringing and compassion for the people, rivaled even King Arod's. However, one family opposed the choice. The Drizzlin family. The Drizzlins were an illustrious family of old lineage that served as chief vassals for generations. supported by other conservatives who relied more on tradition than the welfare of the kingdom. The Dreslins mounted a political campaign against Jar. More renowned as castle builders than as statesmen, the Dreslins' political gambit failed. In the end, the more extreme factions of the family planned to assassinate the newly crowned Jar. Their plan was thwarted. Jar, out of mercy, and because of his short tenure on the throne, decided to spare them. Thus the Dreslin family holdings and lands were confiscated, but they still retained their duties to the royal throne of Calthorn. Bereft of power, they were still a bad family. And I guess that's their crest. Okay, now I'm gonna alright, welcome back. Now I'm going to show you what we have to do next. And this is how we're gonna get our butts out of this goddamn castle. Goddamn tower, because frankly, I'm starting to get sick and tired of stone. So let's start by going back to that one level we were at. Okay. Okay. That's the Dreslin. Artifacts of power. I remain concerned that my task is the most difficult of all my brethren. I have been given the Pixie Flute, a powerful item created with life magic. Its magic is rumored to be powerful, yet I cannot unlock it. The other acolytes have unlocked their magics of their devices. I remain stumped. I am convinced that there is a secret behind the use of this device. My teachers have instructed us in the ways of the Four Orders, but I fail to discern the means to unlock this flute's power. But what is worse about my situation is that I have tried so hard and for so long to make the flute's magic manifest that its condition has worsened. I am afraid that if I continue, I will be forever broken. I even fear it wouldn't work properly. Then I shall have truly failed.